The holidays are such a sweet time of year for so many people, and for others, it might not be. So let's talk about things that we can do to make the holidays wonderful. Sometimes life just sucks, and sometimes it freaking rocks. We will discuss all the things from family and real estate to travel and just life in general. So take a seat, or don't, you do you, and welcome to the Lambadass Podcast. So I know that happy Monday, first of all. I'm filming this on a Monday morning. It's kind of like the perfect way to start the week. And it's funny too, because every time I book filming with Billy to start podcasting, and Billy, it's nothing against you, but I wake up and I'm like, I do not want to podcast today. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just, I love talking, so I don't know. Anyways, I'm really happy to be here. Once I get here and I'm like in the groove of things, I totally love it. So I guess that's a positive. I know that I briefly mentioned stuff about the holidays in one of my previous podcasts right before Thanksgiving. And I kind of want to jump back to that because I was actually talking with Billy and I'm like, I have a guest that's coming on, but they're coming on later. So I kind of want to do a couple episodes by myself where I'm just talking to you, the consumer. So thank you for being here. And Billy brought up a good point, and he was like, Lauren, not everybody had a wonderful childhood, and not everybody has a wonderful adulthood even. Some people don't have traditions and stuff like that. So I think that we should really dive into this. So one, I love traditions. I think they are amazing. I love the old traditions just as much as I love the new traditions. So growing up, Christmas was always magical. Holidays were always magical. In fact, I was just telling my kids the other day, I was like, I remember on Christmas Eve was like the big deal for us. So on Christmas Eve, my mom hosted, and my aunts and uncles and cousins and everybody would come over to our house. And it was really great too, because if you didn't have somebody, my mom's house was open to you. Even Sweetie Pie's cousin, he was in the military for many years and he wasn't married. He was single and living the bachelor life and stuff. He's now married and has a baby. Since this, of course, but even he would come over for the holidays. Like, it's kind of just where everybody who didn't have somebody had somebody. And I loved that about it. With my sister and brother-in-law both being in the military, they always had friends who lived far away from their family. So my sister would be bringing her people up with her from San Diego and stuff like that. So our house was always the house that everybody went to. So having those memories as a kid was awesome. I remember playing with my cousins. I remember my mom, to this day, she still cooks turkey and ham and all the trimmings. It's like Thanksgiving all over again. Bless her heart. I don't know why she does that to herself 2 months in a row, but I'm grateful she does. And I know my husband is grateful that she does too, because that's like his favorite meal. He loves all the Thanksgiving food. So if he can get it again for Christmas, he is here for it. So when I was younger, our tradition on Christmas Day was we woke up, and again, I know I've mentioned this before, but for those of you who missed it, we would go to my grandparents' house and my mom's grandma's house. Now, they lived in LA, so it was open up presents. My parents would have a quick cup of coffee. We'd eat a bowl of cereal really quick, and then we were off. And I remember my mom not hating it. I know she loved it when she was in the moment, but she later told me she always felt so bad because us kids were opening up these awesome presents. We were so excited. We'd put on our new outfits and then we were leaving. And she's like, that's the worst. So when I had my babies, she was like, we're not doing that anymore. We're coming over to your house and you're hosting. So it kind of got thrown on me. However, there was a time in between, my grandparents passed away, actually relatively close to one another, the same year, the year I was 16 in high school. So there was a time period where we didn't go to my grandparents anymore. So the wonderful Pakula family, I actually grew up with them. Their daughter, Jenny, was one of my very best friends in high school. And, they took us in and they were like, you're welcome. They were like my mom. They were like, you're welcome to come over to our house on Christmas Day. And they are a huge Italian family. I want to say Di is one of 5 girls. There might be 6 of them. And then Bob, her husband, is one of, I think there's 3 of them. I'm probably way off. But anyways, so they had a big family and all the kids were my age. We all went to high school together. Like it was kind of amazing. So we would go over to their house on Christmas Day and we would have Ronies. Now, Di's Italian. So she would get a pork roast, she would get a beef roast, she would get sausages, and she would make homemade meatballs. And y'all, it was kind of my favorite tradition. I can't even describe to you how amazing it was. Like we would go over there and we would just have the most amazing Italian meal. And she would make lasagna and it was just amazing. And they actually ended up moving to Texas. And once I had my kids and stuff like that, my mom was like, okay, well, now our family's growing, so we can't bring all these hoodlums over to the Porpicula family house and try and serve all these people. So we started doing it ourselves. My mom started doing it. And then she was like, yeah, now it's your turn now that you've got the kids. So then we started doing it at my house. And you guys, I have to be honest, Christmas dinner is something that I look forward to. When I was younger, we really didn't have that because we'd go over to my grandparents again and then we were home in the evening. It was kind of just like our downtime. But now we get up on Christmas morning. I'll even go back because I have some great ideas for you if you guys don't have your own traditions on how you can start your own traditions. So on Christmas morning, David will go out and Sweetie Pie will go outside. We have a big like Teppan grill outside as part of our barbecue. It's amazing. And he'll go out there and he'll brown all the meats for me. The great thing about that is it prevents splatter and nastiness all over my kitchen. And then he comes and he puts it in the pot and then I make all the sauce. So you brown the meat and then you add all the sauce to it and you add in the oregano and the basil and all the things and you let it cook in the sauce all day long. It's so good. And then everybody comes over around like 5:30, and we normally eat around 6:30. I know most of the times we tend to eat earlier during the holidays, not Christmas dinner. Christmas dinner is later because I have to open up gifts with my family. Now, one thing I started with my family was a couple years ago when we used to do holidays with my in-laws. To avoid having the chaos of all the presents and stuff, what I started doing was I told everybody, hey, come over to my house on Christmas Eve morning. We're going to serve kolaches and we're going to serve champagne and orange juice for the kids. And we're going to have the cousins open presents together. And then that way on Christmas Eve, people can go do whatever it is they want to do. And then Christmas Day, they can come over to our house and it's just dinner. No more opening presents. Like we're done at that point. And so I started that tradition and I absolutely love that. We don't necessarily celebrate the holidays too much more with my in-laws anymore, but that doesn't mean that our traditions need to change. So we still do the kolaches. I order them online. If you don't know what kolaches are, let me explain. So we were in Texas and years ago, and we were leaving on a cruise. And a friend of mine picked me up and he was like, hey, have you tried kolaches? This is like a Texan thing. You have to have kolaches. And I'm like, no, I have no idea what these things are. It's like, if you're not watching this on YouTube, it's probably like how big would you say that is, Billy? I don't know. Yeah, probably like a softball size. Yeah, but more like oval shape. And they have a little sausage in there and some cheddar cheese. And we like the ones that have the jalapeno. You can get different types. Anyways, there is a kolache factory in Tustin. And when I tried these in Texas, I was like, these things are the best things ever. You put them in the microwave for like 40 seconds. They're piping hot and they're so good. I mean, you could probably eat 5 or 6 in one setting. At least my kids can. And they are so good. So we eat that. And that's in the morning. And then we do all the festivities at my parents' house. And then again, everybody comes over on Christmas. Now, I mentioned how, we don't do holidays anymore with my in-laws. That was something that we decided. I shouldn't even say we decided. My husband decided back in 2019. Now, that doesn't mean that we still don't see them for the holidays, right? Like we just do different things. So on Christmas Eve and Christmas, we kind of just leave that for our family and we call it a day. And then we have my in-laws over generally like a couple days after, and we open up gifts and, we mingle for a little bit and then they go on their merry way and we go on ours. It's a great way to get everybody in for the holidays. Everybody gets to see everybody. Everybody gets to exchange gifts. without having the, I don't know, like the weight on your shoulders of expectations of what holidays should be. So I kind of want to touch on that because I want to say two things. One, boundaries are good. And it is okay. I know, again, I mentioned this before. It is okay for you to have boundaries around the holidays. I don't think that you need to give up your boundaries just because it's the holiday. And regardless of why you have those boundaries, you guys, like you only need to explain you to your immediate family. And it was funny. I was making my bed this morning thinking about this. Like my immediate family is my husband and my children who live with me. Like, yes, my oldest, he's my family too. And I love him, but he's married now. So his immediate family is him and his wife. So what him and his wife choose to do for the holidays, I have to be okay with. For Thanksgiving, they were on a cruise and did I miss them? Yes, of course. Did I want to be with them? Yes, of course. But was I so happy that they were doing something that they wanted to do? Absolutely. And was I even happier that it was them being on a cruise? Yes, because his love for travel, I feel like, was induced by us traveling so much when he was little, when he was a kid. So that does make me happy and it also makes me happy that he feels confident and comfortable in our relationship to be able to leave for the holidays. I know that a lot of you get or give guilt during the holidays. And if you're the one giving it, stop. Like you have to stop. Giving guilt especially during the holidays, sucks. And if you're kids or your family members want to do other things than what your traditions are, you have to come to the point of it just being okay. There comes a point where you just have to say, hey, that's what they want to do. And, I follow a mom who's newly divorced on social media, and she was talking about how she's doing Christmas with her kids on the 15th. And I thought, gosh, as a mom, that would suck. And her post though totally made me like turn my frame of mind around, because if you think about it, yes, Christmas is the 25th, but Christmas is when you make it. So if you don't have your kids on the 25th, then it's whenever you deem it is. So just because you don't spend Christmas with your kids on Christmas doesn't mean you can't spend Christmas with your kids on another date. I know my sister-in-law's family, her in-laws, they've since moved to Texas as well. We have a lot of people moving to Texas. Holy smokes. They've since moved to Texas, but I know that they used to do family stuff like on a whole nother day. Like it was always the Saturday before, and I'm paraphrasing. So like nobody felt the pressure of being with one another or having to drive over there. Now, if you wanted to, great, but they also set up a whole other day. And I think that there is a moment of sanity that is placed in people when that happens. The expectations are lower. Yeah, you got to be ready a little bit sooner, but how lovely to not have to worry about that on the day of. So I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I really just want to focus on it being okay. Stop putting the demand on people to be in places and spaces that they don't want to be in when they don't want to be there. That is okay. And if you feel that pressure during the holidays, I'm sorry. I'm sure we felt that for many years, and not necessarily in a bad way at all. It was things that we enjoyed doing, but it was just so much. And it was like, oh, we need to be here by then, and we need to be over here by this time. And oh, this person's holding up dinner for us, or this person's going to eat without us, or whatever it is. And all the expectations, I think, are just a lot. So this is your permission, if you don't know me, from a stranger, to go ahead and create your own boundaries and decide what it is that you want to do on the holidays. And I've even told my adult kids, because, stepping into this adult kid realm is very, very new to me. It's only been about a year that, I've had my daughter-in-law. It's been over a year. It's like a year and a half. But my daughter-in-law has been in my life for many, many years. But as my daughter-in-law, it's only been about a year and a half. And, her parents, thank you, Jesus, are so wonderful, and they're so easygoing. So I really do feel that our kids lucked out with two easygoing parents. But then a part of me is like, you know what? Maybe they didn't. Maybe that was just the job of 4 parents who just want what's best for their kids, genuinely. And my oldest is my stepson. So he has a whole nother side of family that he has to go see and be around and, love on and stuff like that during the holidays too. So what they don't need though, is they don't need another person saying, this is what I expect and I can't wait and you better be here. Don't disappoint me type of thing. To even put that out there to me already brings the whole meaning of Christmas and holidays and Hanukkah and whatever it is that you celebrate down a notch. That's the part I think that bugs me. The other thing that I really want to touch on are going back to traditions. Now, if you didn't grow up in a household where you had a great upbringing and you yourself are breaking that mold, first of all, cheers to you for breaking that cycle. Not only is it hard to get over childhood trauma, I'm sure, but for you to break it and reset and then redo all, that is exhausting. But in light of some encouragement, I feel like once you do it, you're now setting the pace for, future generations down the line. So yes, sis, the hard work is on you, but once you get past it, I think your kids are just going to be so much better for it. So cheers to you for putting in that crazy hard work now. I want to say that you can set your own traditions. You can go and get your kolaches and champagne or juice or whatever it is that you drink, and you can start those new things with your family. You can say, no, we're not going to come over on Christmas Eve anymore because I just need the downtime. I don't need the anxiety. I don't need the stuff in my life, but we'll see you on the 26th or whatever it is that's good for you. I think setting those expectations, especially as a younger married couple, I think if Sweetie Pie and I had done that sooner, I think a lot of things would have been different. Not necessarily better or worse, but just different. I think the expectations, I know, I remember there was one year, David came to me and he was like, I have to tell you, the holidays are my favorite time of year. He's like, and it sucks so hard because he didn't say anxiety, but he's like, I get so much in the pit of my belly, knowing that we have to be here and we have to go over there. And if I disappoint this person, they're going to say something and they're going to be upset. And then it ruins everything. And then it's like, oh, well, I didn't see you during Christmas and this is all you got me. And and I'm like, you know what? Enough. I'm done with it. It broke my heart that he loves the holidays so much. You guys, he's the type of guy that even on the way here to film this podcast today, I was like, dude, we have to finish Christmas shopping. What's the date today? The 11th? Okay, so today's December 11th. You guys, I am normally done shopping by Halloween, and I am normally done wrapping before Thanksgiving. So the fact that I waited this long and now I'm starting to have dreams where we're coming down and the gifts aren't wrapped, it's a whole thing. So But Sweetie Pie loves to do those things. So when you take a man who genuinely loves to shop and be a part of the things and all the stuff for his kids and his family members and stuff, and he's telling you that he has angst and he's dreading the holidays, I don't like that at all. So when he finally decided that we were cutting things off the table and these were things that we were no longer allowing ourselves to do, it works out really well. And I used this analogy last time, and I'll focus on this really quick and then go back to what I was talking about because my ADD is at an all-time high. But when you sit here and you finally cut them off and you say, no, I'm not doing this, not them people, but I'm saying anything. Like this weekend, we went to Havasu. Havasu does their boat parade. We didn't do that last year. That's a tradition that I love, but last year was too much. So David came to me and was like, hey, it's too much. We can't do this. I know you love doing it, but we can't. Once you get to that spot and you become okay with it, it makes things a hell of a lot easier. Going back to people with, who are trying to start their new traditions. If you have a toxic family life, or if your extended family members don't make you happy, if you have family members, again, this is what I was saying, if you have family members that don't want to come and hang out with you at a family barbecue on a Sunday, or that don't invite you over to go to lunch with them, on a Saturday afternoon or whatever it is, but they expect you to be with them for the holidays, cut that shit out. Just be done with it. Just because if you don't want to see me on a normal Saturday or Sunday afternoon, that's okay. But don't feel like you have to see me during the holidays. It's okay all around. So if those are the types of family members or friends that you have that you're normally doing things with, I say cut that shit off at the knees and start something new. Also, remember, your friends can be your family also. I know they say blood is thicker than water and all this stuff too. Yeah, but blood stains. And when those stains just sit around on you, it gets heavy. It makes your clothes look ugly. It makes you look nasty. Get rid of that shit. Like, get over the blood is thicker than water. Make your family with your friends. And if you don't have that, then start your family with those that you do have. Find somebody, get involved. And worst case scenario, you guys, I've told you before, my mom's house is always open to everybody. So if you have nowhere to go and you are personal friends of mine, or you want to start a new tradition, you're more than welcome to come on over to my house. Don't be surprised if we expect you to bring wine or a side dish or something, but come on over. I mean, all joking aside, like you need to find those people in your life. Who do you do life with on a daily basis? Like, those are the people you should be celebrating the holidays with, because those are the people that you truly love and enjoy. So that, I know this episode was kind of all over the place, but I kind of wanted to talk to everybody. I wanted to talk to the people who have their traditions set, but maybe are just tired and want to pull back the reins a little bit. I want to give you permission to do that. One thing that I kind of want to end on is consult your kids. If you have children, consult your kids. So I'm going to talk adult talk. So if you have children listening nearby, now is your chance to stop this podcast and listen later. Okay, you've been warned. So my youngest is 14. And when he became a Santa Claus, and that's how we do it in our house, we don't tell them Santa's not real. They just get to become a Santa. There's many Santas in the world. So when we told him that Santa wasn't real and we had that talk, David and I were kind of looking forward to that day, because we've always wanted to go to Europe and spend Christmas in Europe, because in Europe, it's done very differently than it's done here in the States. One, everything revolves around Christ. And it's funny to me because nobody gets offended. Like, the Jews don't get offended that there is a nativity scene in the middle of the square. The Muslims don't seem to be bothered by it. They do their own thing too. Like the atheists, they don't, like, everybody leaves everybody alone. It's kind of great, actually. But the Christmas spirit over there is very much wrapped around the birth of Christ, which in my religion, that's what we believe in. So I love that idea. They also don't put up their Christmas trees super early at all. They actually will go down to the town square. They'll pick up a little Christmas tree like the week of, go back, decorate it. And then in Germany, they put out their shoes and they fill up their shoes and with candies and chocolates and stuff. Like, it's just different. So culturally, I wanted to go and show my kids how it's done in Germany or France or, wherever. So, I was talking to the kids recently about that, and I'm like, Dad and I would love to go. They have these huge, you guys, they have these huge Christmas markets, and they're amazing. They are just, it's so Christmassy, and it's freezing cold. Sometimes it's kind of rainy and stuff. Their rain over there is very different as well. It's like more of like a light scatter, or it snows, and they give you these delicious hot drinks that you can drink. They do Glühwein, which is nasty AF, dude. It's so gross. It's literally hot wine that they mull with spices and stuff. It's so nasty. It's nasty shit. But they also have great cider that I love. So it's spiked cider. But they have apple cider for kids. They have all the things. So you walk around these Christmas markets and you drink these hot drinks and you pick up these little cute trinkets and stuff like that. Like, it's amazing and I love it. It's so different than what we're used to here. And I brought this up to my boys, and you know what my boys said? Absolutely not. They're like, no. Christmas is at home. Christmas is Roni's. It's Grammy's house on Christmas Eve, and then it's Roni's on Christmas Day, and everybody comes over to our house. And there was one Christmas where we surprised the kids. We had their elf at the time bring over like a bunch of luggage for them. It was part of their Christmas gift. And this was back in 2020, I think it was. And no, because that was COVID. So it must have been the year after, 2021. And we took them to Walt Disney World, and we were so excited to go. We met my sister and everybody. And Carson was like, we're seriously not celebrating Christmas at home. And I'm like, no, we are, because I know how you are about this. So we got home on Christmas Day. We had brunch in Orlando. We flew home Christmas Day, and on the 26th, we got up like it was Christmas. You guys, I packed the Christmas tree, like with all the gifts. I did Ronies on the 26th, so I did it as though that was our Christmas. So consult your kids, because the traditions that you're making with your children will be very important to them regardless of their age. So anyways, that's all I have for you today. I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas, a happy Hanukkah, a lovely Kwanzaa, whatever it is that you believe in. I hope that it is happy. I hope that you find yourself enjoying the holidays and not being anxious. I hope that your Christmas shopping is done, unlike mine, or your holiday shopping is done, unlike mine, and your Christmas presents are wrapped, because Lord help us, I'm going to have these crazy ass dreams for at least the next week, because I can't get to Christmas shopping probably towards the end of this week. So anyways, wishing you guys a happy holidays and sending all my love to all of you.